think what you're trying to ask is why am I so insistent upon giving out to them that blackness, that black power, that black pushing them.
Anise Kathleen Wayman was born February 21st, 1933 in Tryon, North Carolina. Being born into a poor family, she had little room for success. She was the sixth child born into her family. Her mom, Mary Kate Wayman, was a Methodist minister for her church, Old St. Luke's CME. When she was little, it was clear she had a talent for the piano. At age 3, she could play by ear. As she grew older, her love for the instrument grew. She was an intelligent young lady. She skipped 2 grades and graduated as valedictorian of her class. After she graduated high school, she enrolled into the prestigious school, Juilliard School of Music, in New York. After a few years, she felt she left due to lack of money at the time. She then traveled to New Jersey and decided to work at a bar and grill in Atlantic City. The owner told Anise that to be able to work at his bar, she needed to sing and play the piano, so that's what she did. While working at this bar, she changed her name to Nina Simone to hide the fact that she was singing the devil's music from her parents. Once she raised up enough money, she decided to go back to school. This time, she enrolled into her dream school, Curtis Institute of Music, but got rejected due to segregation. Later down the road, she married Don Ross in 1958 and divorced later in 1960. Her second husband and manager at the time was Andy Stroud. He would manage her business and career by keeping up with her income, so she knew nothing about her business was managed or what it was actually worth. When Simone found out, she was wanted for not paying taxes, so they later divorced. He was also very abusive and would hit her. In her diary, she talks about awful things he did to her. Also in her diary, she talks about her mental health. She was a bipolar. Sometimes on stage, she would have really bad bipolar attacks and lash out on the fans. Later in life, she got pretty sick due to having breast cancer. She was diagnosed in summer during 2002 and died April 21st, 2003 in France.
To most white people, jazz means black and jazz means dirt, and that's not what I play. I play black classical music.
Simone was a talented artist. Life was hard being a black woman in America who was trying to make it big. Segregation was still in effect and would be until she turned 31 years old. She played jazz music in bars and pubs, which is when she changed her name to Anise Kathleen Wayman to Nina Simone. She didn't want her mother and father realizing that it was her playing the devil's music.
Greed has driven the world crazy, and I think I'm lucky that I have a place over here that I can call home.
As a child, Simone was quite poor, and having a lot of siblings didn't help. She got paid $90 a week to play, which is around $1,000 in today's money. As she grew up, she was able to make more money and sustain her family. Her second husband, Andy Stroud.
I had spent many years pursuing excellence, but that is what classical music is all about. Now it was dedicated to freedom, and that was far more important.
Piano is one of the most well-known instruments out there, and it was the instrument before the electric guitar took over. As a child, she was called a child prodigy. Here is footage about Miss Simone talking about how she was musically talented as a child.
Born a child prodigy, darling.
Yeah.
I was born a genius, which means that at 6 months old, my mom said that I knew what notes were, and of course on paper, and it scared her. So at 3 years old, I remember a piano came to the house, That's the way I have to express it, because I was poor and I was a child, so I didn't know who bought the piano. And I remember playing a song, God Be With You Till We Meet Again, in the key of F. And of course I didn't know what the key was. So I leave that for you to scramble. So I didn't get interested in music. I was a gift from God, and I know that.
How has she influenced North Carolinians?
Growing up, she was heavily influenced by segregation. Her music was about what was going on in the world at the time. We knew for a fact that North Carolina shaped Nina into the powerful, beautiful woman she once was. And though with all the backlash and hate, it only made her stronger and made her work for the things she wanted and dreamed for. And we think that's how she influenced North Carolinians. She never let the hate and racial slurs bring her down. If anything, it made her more stronger than ever. She's influenced many North Carolinians by her bravery and her talent. As time went by, people started to enjoy her music and her as a person, that they didn't really care what the color of her skin was. They just liked her for being herself. We think she was inspired everyone, not just in North Carolina, but everywhere. She played a huge part into the civil rights movement, so not only did she have a huge impact with her music talking about the struggles African Americans face, but she would also go to protest and fight for her rights. This made her truly an icon and an amazing woman, not just for African Americans, but for everyone. She changed people's lives for the better, and she will always be remembered as a legend.
And though Mrs. Simone has passed back in 2003, her legacy will live on through her daughter Lisa Simone and her granddaughter Renee Simone.